Good evening. I warmly welcome you all to ISL. We are going to discuss about a very important topic, which is e-waste management, which is little bit ignored but very important. So ISL CPD committee and electrical and electronic engineering sectional committee is thinking of developing a CPD program on e-waste management. To check the enthusiasm in our membership, we have organized this public lecture to check how our membership thinks about this topic. So let me introduce our speaker, Mr. Manoj Karunaratne. He has held number of management and specialist position in number of institutes. For example, Federation of Chambers and of Commerce and Industry of Sri Lanka, Ministry of Internal Administration, National Housing Development Authority. So all those institutions he has held managerial post, and some companies he has worked as a consultant and specialist. Currently he is working in Ceylon Waste Management Private Limited, which is a BOI approved company. His current position is product technical manager. So he has many experience in giving this kind of presentation to number of BOI companies and as well as our government institution. So he is here with us to share this knowledge with all of us. So I warmly welcome Mr. Manoj Karunaratne to encourage us on this topic. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I must thank the Council of Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka for me to invite in to deliver a lecture on e-waste management. It's my privilege to have this occasion, especially among high functional careers who are presented here and I must do some valuable thing for them to take it back home. E-waste management is a very important thing in the current situation. I will go through the presentation, but my description will be independently introduced, and please go through the presentation as well as my speech followed. Ceylon Waste, if I simply introduce my company, Ceylon Waste Management is a BOI approved company, inaugurated in 2010, and we started our business in 2011, and now we are in the industry for more than 6 years. Actually, e-waste management is a very difficult business comparing to the other industry, because there are a lot of regulations, rules we have to follow in order to comply with the environmental concerns implemented by the relevant authorities. So from one side there are a lot of institutions monitoring us and keep us guiding to implement e-waste management program in Sri Lanka, and other side from the society there are a lot of issues when we do this business within the society, and there are a lot of complaints also coming for not only for our company, there are a lot of other companies. But we have given a lot of contribution to the government to formulate the proper system to do a e-waste recycling business in Sri Lanka. We have given our proposals and thoughts at given many presentations at many occasions to if they take it in positively. So our company is not a very big, but there are about 30 employees, including 6 top managements and around 20 to 24 workers working in our factory. If I outline my presentation, firstly we will talk about the problem statement of e-waste management, and then what are the solutions we provide to mitigate the e-waste issues in the country as well as in the world. because we provide much more services to local, as we provide some resources to overseas country to recycle our hazardous material. And how Ceylon waste management can help for you for domestic e-waste management as well as your industrial e-waste management. If I describe about what are the waste material normally we are generate every day, these are agricultural waste, animal byproducts, biomedical waste, clinical waste, and then goes to the list of other items. Also the electronic waste is the smallest component we generate compared to the other waste. Normally, if you consider the municipality waste composition, the electronic waste, the percentage would be around 1 to 2%. But it is the most hazardous and most harmful components available within the municipality waste. Without knowing these factors, the hazardousness of the electronic waste, people just throw it to the general garbage bin or just burn out open air without having any concern about their health or the environment. And there are many waste also generated from industry. We are also working to supply industry total waste management solution, but there are still we are dragging with the institution and authorities to get approval for this. We have already facility and technology also table, but we are waiting to get the solution. But you know, everybody, they are without solution. Still all the industries, they are waste, the production waste or the consumable waste are disposing with the municipal waste or with some contractors outsourced. So that is a huge and very dangerous factor in waste management industry in Sri Lanka. Everybody experiencing these issues with the recent incident happened, everybody knows. Now if you take the categories of waste material, there are hazardous waste, recyclable waste, biodegradable waste. So these main three categories are we handle, and there are many recycling industry available in Sri Lanka. Especially we handle electronic waste, and there are glass handled by separate company, and plastic there are so many companies available to recycle plastic items, and tire there are many companies. Then the batteries, especially on the lead acid battery, but nickel metal hydride battery and other rechargeable batteries, there are no facility in Sri Lanka to recycle. And there are copper recycling plants as well as paper. There are many institutions available in Sri Lanka to do recycling of paper and other material. And also there are non-hazardous waste and non-recyclable waste as also there. Also non-biodegradable waste available. Especially everybody know this non-recyclable waste are very something like a small thing like tissue papers you cannot recycle. Then pop-up cards you cannot recycle because this material comes with the laminating and cardboard. So there are no solution and there is no way to recycle. So what they do is using an incineration facility with the service providers. Everybody incinerate those material because of the technology not available to recycle. Fortunately, tire, earlier we have a big issue in the country. Now there are many facilities available for recycling tire and claimed rubber for reproduction of some rubber products. There are many definitions available in internet if you Google, but normally electronic waste defines as WEEE. That's called waste electrical and electronic equipments. So whatever the equipments comes to end of life with the persons. So person's hand, it may be like device is still working, but new fashion has come. So we think that this device is not useless now, so we want to discard it. So this working device is we are putting to garbage. So what's happened is, even though device is working, because of the new fashions comes, we change the device. And sometimes we have some excess, like we bought a new LCD TV, but working CRT good TV we have to discard because we don't have facility to keep it at home. So they are another reason we have to change it. Then some obsolete items and broken devices. Also there are a lot of influence from the market where the advertisements, especially since we are in the industry, we are getting a lot of working devices every day. Normally we get 6 to 7 home appliances, a lorry of home appliances every day from different vendors. These most of items are in working condition. When we search why they are returning those things, because of the credit facilities available, discount offered by different vendors, and very attractive feature with the new model. So this pattern, actually this buying pattern is now in Sri Lanka as well as in Asian countries are grown rapidly. According to a report I read out recently, during last 5 years time, the EWaste growth in the Asian region is 63%, including China, India. China is the major contributor for EWaste generator and illegal handling of e-waste in the world. So fortunately we are bounded by Basel Convention, that's Basel Geneva. We signed agreement with the World Organization that's the restriction of transboundary shipment of hazardous waste. So we are bounded to that agreement, and fortunately we are in secure position. Also, if we want, like we do, we want to ship hazardous waste like we do, we shipped CRT. CRT is the most hazardous electronic waste in the world. So in Sri Lanka we don't have facility. We will come to the in next slides how we handle the CRT issues and what are the solutions we provide for these type of hazardous waste. Now if you take the list of items, especially electronic items in the industry, the computer and peripherals are the most common electronic waste, because you know our computers early days we use for 5 to 6 years or more than 10 years. Now you know every year we are getting new versions of processors, RAMs and models, features, operating system and so on. So even though machines are working properly, the users are not much like to use the same device after 2-3 years. They need to change the model, and they complain to the relevant officers, and this computer is not working or device is not functioning well or printer something like that, and they pretended to change the devices without having much investigation. So that's why we are educating institutions, people, before purchasing a new electronic device, you must use the maximum lifetime of the device. Otherwise, if you are not change this life pattern of purchasing of new equipment, we are in trouble in future, because we are investing money and we send our money to abroad, so there is an issue in the currency and our deposits in the banks, and we lose our money because we are going behind the new model, new features and the promotion campaign. So this is, we have to stop somewhere, and we have to maximize. Recycling means comes at the end of the lifetime of the device. Before that we have to reuse it and dismantle and recycle the parts, and then only we have to dismantle and destroy the rest of the things. So this e-waste management is another scenario of minimizing the generation of waste. Because if we are not concerned about the waste generation, one of the strategy in our company promote to minimize the e-waste generation. Because if you are focused on that, you are saving the money, you are saving the planet, you are saving the environment. And the most of items everybody knows, and what are the effects and how frequent we are disposing those things to the disposer or the general waste. Now we see what are the growth of e-waste, right? What are the trends, right? Why we are more producing or more generate e-waste currently, especially if you compare the CRT monitor and LCD monitor. Everybody knows the consumption of electricity is very less in a LCD monitor, and the space is very little and is very convenient to handle. In the space also, in the desk environment, very comfortable. So that's why we are moving from CRT to LCD. Because of this situation, and we did several site investigation, those who recycle, but do recycle, and we found that there are many people who collected CRT monitors, especially TV and monitors, are discarded illegally and in proper manner. So I will go to slides in next steps. I will show you how in Sri Lanka practices of disposing, especially CRT monitors, in a bad way. Then if you take the mobile phone, the old mobile phone, that if you compare the smartphone, there are so many features. You have the world in hand, and you can go to and you can reach to any destination or any person from this device. And these attractive features are pressurized people to buy new phone, and after 6 to 7, 8 months, once a new model release, most of people are willing to buy the new model, even though this model is working. So sometimes we observe some of colleagues or some of known people change their mobile frequently after 6 months. Sometimes they purchase the mobile phone at 40,000 rupees price, new phone, and then sell it to 20,000 and buy a new one. So these pattern generate e-waste more, and we are not encouraging, and we are make awareness them to do this practice and minimize the investment of electronic device and use it maximum. And likewise PC, now most of people like to do iPad or laptops, and the technology of the size of the equipment because of the change of the technology. Earlier, if you take the home theater system or music system, now it comes to a small size and have a better quality and better sounds. And sorry. So these also tends to generate more electronic waste, as well as in the telecommunication industry. Those time, even now is available. The analog systems contain like a switching room is a triple the size of this room size, but now it's in the if you take the Huawei switching system in the communication industry, it's like a 2-3 feet size of a box, but only one engineer can operate. But earlier we have a huge power consumption, huge area, and so many operators and engineers need to operate it. Now this technology change, now these equipments are removing. We are also one company who undertake removal of those kind of equipment from the service providers, especially in giant telecommunication service providers in Sri Lanka. Also, as I mentioned earlier, there are trends of buying due to many promotions and marketing influencers, and creating a buying power of the people. Now, with several credit facilities and due to the development of the buying power of the people, they are tend to buy more electronic devices than what they want. If you see the the environmental concern about this electronic waste, if you are not dispose it properly. Some pictures actually similar in Sri Lanka, but this picture is from some African country I have taken in the internet. You know, one example I will tell you, similar incident happening in every night in Sri Lanka. Colombo Dockyard and many other port service providing institutions in Sri Lanka, they collect a lot of electronic waste from the ship repairing, and every day they are getting huge lot of electronic waste, especially cable. You know, we are invested nearly 4.5 million machine to recycle waste cable. So that machine alone is to 4.5 million, but we are not getting enough waste cable to recycle, because when we apply to tenders of the waste, the companies who are having the waste, we are offering a very marginal this, because EWaste is a very marginal business, not very profitable business. So with the labor, we have a permanent labor, we have provide uniform, we provide all protection equipments. So we have a cost involved in the recycling. But others who collect the waste cable from the yard, dockyard or whatever the other shipping yard, and they burn out in the night and sell this all the copper, whatever the extracted copper, in the morning, and they pay the amount to the authorities the next day morning. But we take to handle 7 metric tons, we take 1 month with 4 employees, but for others they take 1 night. So this is the situation. So in this business there is a lot of issues which we cannot sometimes elaborate openly, but if you are in the business, everybody knows what is happening really, and what is we are talking is something different. So yeah, environmental concerns, the air pollution, groundwater pollution, heavy metal contamination of soil is the major issues in the country, even not in Sri Lanka, everywhere in the world. Then death of aquatic animal, disruption of food chain, destruction of ecosystem, and spread of diseases is due to electronic waste happen everywhere. And the health concern due to electronic waste, there are many factors you can find from the internet. So I also get some information from the internet, and we identified these diseases, and some of badly affected. Even there are good case study we did recently. I must tell that for your education. In Pandura area, there is illegal, there is no license, illegal e-waste trading business going on in Pandura area. We read, and personally we went there. I will show some photos of that event, and those electronic waste they collected are discarded illegally and improperly. And CRT monitor glasses they dump in the there's a river close to the Pandura area, and they fill the land with the concrete. So when we complained to the authorities with the photograph, they took at least, I think, more than 6 months to take action, and finally with the relevant health organizations and environmental authorities, they stopped that place doing this kind of a business because of the surrounding houses. Most of children having some crash, and there are some headache and some unknown diseases. There are some illnesses also they had. So they found an health organization take strong action to stop this operation. So there are many places like this in Sri Lanka illegally doing this kind of e-waste dismantling and trading business. And if you find the the hazardous metal in the electronic waste basically the lead, cadmium, arsenic, beryllium, mercury and chromium. So CRT, if you take the CRT monitor having most of these hazardous material, and the PCB is the next item which has most hazardous material. PCB means the printed circuit boards, and in foreign area we found one person extracting gold out of processor and RAMs using normal technology in the domestic way, and is damaging the entire environment, not only the surrounding environment, but his home and the children all are living in the same house, and he is having this small factory behind his living room. And we took this photograph also to educate him, and he is not ready to because we have some we believe that we have a responsibility to educate. If we know something is dangerous to the society, to the health or the environment, we educate. We are not reluctant to backward or not to inform anything, but we inform in writing to the authorities as well as to the relevant public health organization as well. In Sri Lanka, these are actual pictures we have taken from illegal handling of electronic waste, and especially the battery, lead acid battery. When you remove the leaded component, the acid just throw away from the ground, and it's then connected with the groundwater or the drinking water. And the CRT monitor also, this is the one place we have taken this photograph. This, up to this level they have filled more than 4 foot already in the ground. From this level it's nearly 4 foot of CRT glasses they have filled. And our strategy, as I mentioned earlier, we ensure that in our e-waste recycling process we are reduce minimum waste, because we try to extract the maximum material from the electronic waste we collected. This is a very difficult job, because we are getting employees not much educated, not much trained, so we have to train them and educate them, and the employee turnover is very high. So, and with this all, we are still maintaining a very high level of performance and environment friendly operation. Thereby many government institutions as well universities are sending their students to investigate or to study our operation, and do study even from local and foreign students also coming to study our operation. So every day we are finding new ways of dismantling and recycling of electronic waste, and minimize the hazardousness of waste. So when we store the electronic waste, we use new methods and we research a new way of storing, minimizing the environmental effects. So these are our main strategy doing this electronic waste business. So we have implemented many e-waste management program throughout the country, especially conducting awareness programs for the government institutions, private sector, especially BOI companies, then BPO companies. They are the most e-waste generators and are willing to dispose their electronic waste in a proper manner, because they have environmental issues, and they are compliant to dispose the electronic waste in a proper way, because they are binded with the foreign organizations and they need to dispose it in a proper way. So this is a good trend also to tell you. those organizations give example to the country how they dispose their electronic waste in a proper way. Why other companies or other government institution cannot do this? And we provide a very very sophisticated logistic mechanism where even from domestic waste we collect once a time in a month. There we do a round trip collection program, and we collect all the inquiries and we inform them next day we are coming and please keep it ready. So this is only with this service we provide in Colombo and suburb, but we getting good response from the general public, those who willing to dispose their electronic waste in a proper way. Actually, this trend is now developing. That's why we are happy about our programs we did, and we still are working to deliver this kind of lectures and make awareness program and conduct e-waste collection program with universities. But you know, we had a e-waste collection program June 20th and 21st in the science faculty of Colombo and medical faculty of Colombo. But you know, we got very small amount of electronic waste, though we have conducted with the university staff, lecturers and professors, all they involved to conduct this program, but we collected very little. There are still gaps and communication gaps and the awareness gaps available. That's why some of e-waste collection program are not success. We here under our program, e-waste management program, we do research and development. None of the other electronic waste recyclers haven't going to this program so far, and we have come out with some solutions, and I will show one of research we did recently. And research development, actually we are in a now good position to provide solution for CRT recycling in Sri Lanka. This information will not be released soon. It will be released once the final output is ready and the approval obtained from the relevant authority. Our value chain of e-waste management described in this graph. The collected e-waste, there are 1,000 number of electronic items we collect. That's why I told initially the e-waste is a mix of items collected in a different form of, and we cannot confine into 2-3 type of waste. And because of this different type of waste, it's very difficult to handle. Other waste recycling companies, they have only one item, as I mentioned earlier. Therefore, the segregation process will take place in the first step, and then dismantling according to selected items. Then we dismantle all items and then again segregated to plastic, glass, copper, iron, aluminium. And those segregated items we sell into the third party. The plastic we sell into the local manufacturers who manufacture then the small buckets, then sometimes lanterns and plastic components. So they use our recycled plastic because the original material will cost around a kilo of plastic PP around 170 rupees, but we are selling at 36 to 40 rupees. So the small industries survive because of the recycled plastic, and they properly manage it and they get the profit out of their business. Because virgin material are very cost and they cannot offer to at that price. Then CRT tubes, as I mentioned earlier, this is the most hazardous waste, and we currently export to Netherlands for recycling purposes. And what they do there, they crush this CRT into small parts and mix with the concrete to manufacture high strength concrete. So this process is approved by Europe Commission, and they get the license to do this. That's why they are allowed to import hazardous CRT monitor to Netherlands to build and make strength concrete. But this process we get a lot of cost, because dismantling cost, and then we have to pack and export to Netherlands, and we have to pay special taxes for ground transport in Netherlands, especially in the EU area. And they transport like a very dangerous. They say we have to label the container, the dangerous material transporting under security. So we have to pay special taxes on that, and 1 kilogram transporting and recycling cost, it will cost around 500 rupees per kilogram of CRT. Not 50 rupees. A CRT monitor, normally we charge 500 rupees to recycle. That cost we pay to the recycler and other administration cost. Now we are doing a research with connecting with local universities, ITI and the Ceramic Industry Association to find a solution to provide locally. Now we are come out with a certain steps, and we found some solution. Now the research and development is still going on. Probably we are happy to say this research is now come out with some certain achievement. So probably by end of this year we can tell the community then and the authorities that CRT monitor we can recycle locally, and we can less the amount charged for recycling, and because of the solution we found. And the other, from the PCB we extract some of precious metals as mentioned here. Ceylon waste management provide product wise solution for e-waste management, especially the as mentioned earlier, safe disposal of CRT tubes. Ceylon waste management is the only organization in Sri Lanka authorized by Central Environmental Authority to handle CRT monitor for recycling purposes. Others are not allowed because they don't have process, they don't have a partner to recycle this electronic waste, CRT monitor. And we have a partnership with lithium ion battery. I will go one by one in the next slide. And we have the printed circuit board solution for printed circuit board, scrap wires, iron, plastics, and we have a solution, new solution for data destruction. This is very important. We will talk about in the next slides. Our CRT monitor recycling process is described in the first point. Dismantling of CRT monitor takes place in our factory, and we export this CRT monitor to Netherlands, and from in Netherlands they crush it and make this kind of concrete blocks in their factory. So this solution to provide, we have to pay for license, Basel license, and we are the only organization in Sri Lanka have obtained this Basel license to transform shipment of hazardous waste to Europe. And we have a solution to recycle lead acid battery. If you tell the client, it's Nam Lanka, is the big company in Sri Lanka to recycle lead acid battery. But there is no single organization in Sri Lanka to provide recycling solution for rechargeable batteries, especially nickel metal hydride battery and other related rechargeable battery. There is no solution. That's why we have a partnership with Belgian company, and we are sending all these CDMA phone batteries and other rechargeable batteries sent by our clients. We export to Netherlands. there is a Belgium. There is a cost involved for this process, and we charge from our clients to do this recycling process. And the PCB, as I mentioned earlier, we extracted PCB from computers and other peripherals, and we do this refining process in Belgium, and we are going to have our own facility in Sri Lanka by end of this year in Katunayake. We have get the BOI approval to implement PCB refining refinery. It's the first one of in South Asia, going to be have by end of this year. So we are happy to say, as an organization, we are, even though there are no standalone system available, we develop solution for manage to e-waste. So this refinery is another product, and it's a total solution we imported from Europe. Once we implement this e-waste refinery, we can extract gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and copper from this electronic waste, especially from printed circuit board. So then we will get the chance of put the hallmark of gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and we can now we are applied for the license also. Then we will get the license to export it. Then we will be the single organization in Sri Lanka who having gold manufacturing license and export license. So after implement this process, government is willing to give permission to import printed circuit boards from other countries to refine in Sri Lanka, because it make more money to country. We can sell in the world market these precious metal. This is the most valuable slide. This wire recycling facility we have, as I mentioned earlier, this 4.5 million worth of machine is idling more than 20 days per month because of lack of material available to recycle, because it goes to the other operators' hand and they do illegal extraction of copper. Using this machine, we can get 99% pure copper, crushed cable crush and small particle, and we can extract the PCBs and other material covered with the cable. And we have the cable stripper here. Cable stripper machine, which is a very important machine. Normally in the industry there are few companies use this stripping machine. From that we can separate the copper cable, copper and plastic separately within a few minutes. So we have that facility, and we are operating every day this machine, and we have the product to do recycle at enough quantity. Also we handle scrap iron from various organization, companies. They hand over to us to recycle waste scrap iron from construction industry, manufacturing industry, and from our own recycling facility. We generate a lot of iron scraps, and with the third party we send it to our local. There are so many iron recycler in Sri Lanka, and they manufacture iron bars and other things using this. It's a good business, but nowadays it's not very much profit making business, because of they have recently the budget has given permission to import iron bars directly from overseas, and because of that the copper iron prices goes down. Now it's around 13 to 15 rupees per kilo recycle item, but earlier we sold around 6 to 7 rupees per kilo. These are the issues in the industry we are facing now. And the other big electronic equipment we recycle are the refrigerators and washing machine. So every day we are getting around 100 to 200 units from partnership, the vendors who are having partnership with us. and we do a lot of operation on this item to recycle. And for tire recycle, we have a good partner, DSI. They do reclaim rubber and use it their own manufacturing process. This plastic, as I mentioned earlier, we are selling to local small industries to manufacture local components for domestic use. There we have two hybrid machine to crush plastic, and this is actually this plastic extraction from electronic waste is a profitable business. Here these slides I show the sum of operation going on in our factory inside. This is a dismantling of computer monitor. We have provided all the necessary equipments and protection gloves and overalls. And the next service we provide for the industry is the data destruction solution. This service actually required for the banks and other institutions who are dealing with security information. Earlier, the trend was to destroy the hard disk using a hammer or something like that, and destroy the hard disk data. But this is not an internationally accepted way of destroying data containing material. So the well accepted method is erasing the data in the hard disk, then dismantle and destroy the hard disk. So we provide this new solution to especially financial institution and some of government institution. We prefer, we like to tell you, most of them much not aware about this, especially the handheld devices, especially mobile phones. When you take photograph, your personal one, your family one, all these remain in the hard disk on the memory even though you remove it. There are a lot of tools available to recover all the material. If you give this device to repair center, those who are interested to recover, they do that. So there are many problems and cases we have seen in the newspapers. So when you dispose your mobile phones and pen drives, make sure that you have to permanently erase the memory in the device. Otherwise, any item in the device which is not overwritten can be recovered. So currently there is no service publicly available to access those things, but we provide to the corporates, especially for those material like pen drives, memories, hard disk. There is a degaussing technology. Degaussing means the high magnetic fields, when it's exposed to the high magnetic field, the entire memory structure in the device is destroyed. So no more access, no more table, it will not maintain any tables in the memory. So all the structures are destroyed. This is the most successful and trusted way of destroying memory devices in the world. So the destruction of data in the data devices is erasing and degaussing. Once did one of this process, then dismantle the devices, and hard disk we crush the hard disk using our industrial metal crusher. So our market segment for this data processing is government, corporate institutions, BPO, NGO, banks, private companies, especially individuals who are having mobile devices and other storing devices, financial organization and BOI companies. So we are conducting awareness programs for them to have their data containing devices recycled in a proper way, because otherwise these information containing devices, if you dispose in an improper way, the information can be leaked. These are some of pictures in our factory. Now I will show you the research we did recently about the CRT matter, because the CRT is the most trend hazardous and the most dangerous electronic waste which is to the environment as well as to the health. We did this research in 2015 because of this incident. These pictures we took in Panudur area, the illegal vendor who dismantled electronic CRT monitors and extract the motherboards and plastic and other rest of the thing they dump in the yard. According to our findings, this is Sri Lanka demography, everybody knows about it. And assuming according to the sources available in the Sri Lanka statistics website, 5.5 houses are available, and 90%, 94% electrified, and mean that 5.17 houses are electrified. And assume that 90% have a TV or computer monitor. So that we calculated not only the home or domestic as well as in the office, we found that there are 7.6 million CRT tubes available in Sri Lanka. We got data from the customs and the other relevant authorities. We returned to them and they sent the data, and we did other text of research and found that there are 7.6 million CRT available in Sri Lanka to dispose very soon. I will go to the next slide. According to research conducted by the University of Moratuwa and the Ministry of Environment, there are 75,000 to 80,000 metric tons of electronic waste generated every year. This research was done in 2009 and now it's more than double. During this period, the north and east e-waste generation was not considered, but now if you take it, there is no such a survey conducted recently. Assume that it will be double now. Now if you take the one CRT monitor having a 10 kilogram of CRT, it will be 75,000 metric tons available to dispose. Now already if you assume 10% already disposed, there are remaining 67,000 metric tons to dispose. These are the chemical composition of the CRT monitors. Nearly 17 chemicals available in CRT, including lead, arsenic, beryllium, boron, lithium, manganese, and so on. The most hazardous materials are, as I mentioned there, if you take the panel of the glass, there are 2 to 3% of weight is lead oxide, and 22 to 25% of the funnel glass is lead oxide. So assume that if we dispose this electronic waste to the environment, how effect to the environment and to the human. According to our findings, there are 8,840 metric tons of lead will be disposed and added to the environment if we dispose this hazardous material in improper manner, and 110 metric ton of arsenic will be disposed. It is more than the amount which is supposed to be disposed or added to the environment or soil due to agriculture process. About our company, as I explained earlier, it's a BOI company, and single BOI company approved to process electronic waste in Sri Lanka, and we are the only company having processing facility in Sri Lanka. and we provide solution for CRT, the single solution provider. We have the license to operate till 2019. And so far we have conducted 785 awareness presentation, 7,350 meetings, more than email campaign more than 47,000, and 128 e-waste collection events, and many meetings with the higher portion of the organization to aware them to conduct e-waste recycling in a proper way. So we have many strategic partnership with the organization. If I tell you the Singer, we have the strategic partnership to dispose all the electronic waste collected from the trading business, and we undertake to dispose. And many banks like Commercial Bank, Nation Trust Bank, then HNB also now they are signing with us, and many BOI companies, we have a strategic partnership with us to dispose the electronic waste. And we issue electronic waste recycling certificate them too, and carbon offset certificate also. We have some achievements during the last 7 years considering our operation. We won the National Business Excellence Award 2014, and we got the International Global Platinum Award in 2015, and National Export Award 2015 that's implemented by the National Chamber of Export. And we are governed by the National Environmental Act 47/1980 and Amendment 53 in 2000. So also we are governed by the transform shipment of all electronic waste governed by the Basel Convention license. We call that strategic partnership MOU. We sign a MOU with many companies, organizations to streamline the e-waste management process. So our message to you and for the community: be cooperate. Our organization, we practice to be cooperate as a corporate citizen, and we have a responsibility to for this country, and maintain accountability and respect to the environmental sustainability during our all e-waste handling process. Gain competitive advantage by following the environmental friendly operation, and we found new technologies, ways, and to dispose these all electronic waste in a proper manner. We at Kiruwattuduwa Homagama, any organization who are willing to partner with us to dispose the electronic waste are welcome to visit our factory anytime, and we provide facility to study our facility and operation. Thank you very much, and I must thanks again for the committee who are invited me to do this presentation for you. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please, I am ready to listen to it. Thank you.
We have some question and answer session. Then you can finish this lecture. So if anyone has question, please raise your hand. I have a question.
Yes.
You didn't mention about CFL lands. Do you recycle those?
Yes, actually CFL, TFL tube lights and LED bulb, we do recycle, and we have a partnership to do CFL bulb and TFL. That is Asia Recycler, the only recycler in Sri Lanka to undertake CFL bulb recycling. I must promote that because this company, though it's business, but if this CFL contain the mercury, and if we dispose it in proper way, it will be harmful to the environment. So this Orange company subsidiaries Asia Recycler has a huge facility to undertake CFL disposal, and they undertake Orange bulb free of charge, and others they charge some amount, I think 10 rupees. So we on behalf of our clients, we undertake, collect and hand over to our recycling partner to recycle it. They do it very proper and in a sustainable way.
Hello. Thank you very much for your presentation. Actually, as we know, there's a company which is doing all that because I know that we are charged. I mean, there's a tax for the phones. When we purchase, you know, it is included. I think it is taken by the Minister of Environment, saying that they are going to dispose of it correctly. But nothing proper has been happening. I was little worried. You know, we are collecting money and this was happening. And there's one company which is doing it. The question that I want to ask is, you mentioned that during your presentation that the dockyard or some companies in EWaste and they burn it and they do it. But then according to you, it is profitable. So why do they burn it and they do it? Is it that probably you can mention something maybe when you enter, you have to pay a price.
Yeah.
You don't pay that lot of price, is that?
That's right. Because not dockyard is burning the cable, the other buyers who purchase the cable from dockyard is doing illegal burning and extract the copper. But we can't do that because we are bound to environmental regulations, and we are a company and we have technology, so we process according to that. And to process 8 metric tons with 4 labors, it takes 1 month. Because if you tell the exact scenario, our price for purchasing a kilo of scrap from dockyard will be around 140 rupees. But other vendors, they purchase at 170 rupees. So we cannot offer that price. We have cost involved with that operations, and the profit is very marginal. That's why our machines are idling, keep idling. And we have raised this issue with authorities, but their involvement is very little. And other things you brought in, the responsibility of the vendors, especially the traders, why they are not responsible to recycle these things. So with many discussions, we have lodged our concern and we have forwarded in written to government, especially minister, even to the environmental minister, to have a mechanism to mitigate this issue, get the traders, those who are agent in Sri Lanka to promote the international products, must be responsible for recycling, not the buyer. That's called producer responsibility program. Every country that has this producer responsibility program, that producer must be responsible for recycling at the end of the life of the product. So at several lodgings of our complaints and issues, the government drafted paper and table to the cabinet. They got approval to implement this program. Ultimately, the result is not expected outcome. Ultimately, it's come to several few items, but not the entire electronic waste, because the Act defined electronic waste is mobile phones and the computer. All other electronic devices are not considered under electronic waste under the Environmental Act. So we propose them to implement a comprehensive online system. When they import from Sri Lanka to Sri Lanka, make a charge recycling fee at the gate of importations and make that fund available for recyclers to claim it back once these items come to the recycler. And it's encourage the users to bring it back to the recycler once the end of life. That's pay some amount to the user to and encourage him to at least cover the transport cost of the device and bring it to the recycling facility. but ultimately, and we emphasize that's fund not must be kept with the financial minister or the treasury. It should be independent fund which is not accessible to the minister or to any other government body. It should be independent body which is totally benefited to the users and the recyclers. But ultimately the outcome is not as expected. But we are still struggling to implement and take it into the proper line.
The process free of cost.
I can't hear.
It's been collecting process. Material free of cost.
Yes, actually 90% of electronic waste we are getting free of charge, and we charge recycling of most of material. But we pay recycling fee, the price for computers, motherboard, RAM processors, and communication devices like routers, switches, then exchange, which is we tendering, we get tenders from communication companies. For rest of the things there is a cost, and especially if you take to recycle hard disk, we did the practical, several items we dismantle, and it nearly takes 10 minutes to dismantle hard disk. And similarly the UPS, if you take UPS, it takes 10 to 15 minutes to dismantle. Likewise the small computer laptop, if you take the laptop, it's nearly take to 20 minutes to dismantle. You can't using hammers, we have to part by part remove it. And we have automated tools, pneumatic tools. We can't use pneumatic tools to dismantle hard disk and this kind of a small item. That's why the cost is higher than the income we can generate from the dismantling and recycling. So that's why this business is not much profitable, it's marginal, and we are operating at a very minimal margin. That's why we charge it.
Thanks, this valuable speech. Here. My first question is there any standard like VS, NFPO or something for the kind of waste, electronic waste, and why we couldn't apply in Sri Lanka, and there are any difficulties in Sri Lanka to standardize these things or something?
Actually, I must thank for this asking this question. Issue is Sri Lanka e-waste, even the waste management industry has not developed up to that, because we are struggling with authorities to carry on our business having this all covered. Since we are having the license and other things, all EPL and schedule waste management license, authorities are ready to capture any fault, or they are always behind us due to complaint from many personnel and other institutions. But they are not supporting to streamline this business. There are 13 licensed recyclers in Sri Lanka, but there are 4,800 illegal vendors in Sri Lanka. Those who collect electronic waste from those in village and other areas, they bring vehicles and comes doorstep. There are, we calculated, there are 4,800, because all these traders brings glass material to glass manufacturing company, and we also buy circuit board from them. And because of this scenario, we cannot have any better practice. If we are going to practice that thing, we cannot run our business. So we are willing to introduce all these international standards and applied certification program, but still this business is not developed up to that level. Thank you for that question, and we also written to our authorities, please stream this business, especially the informal sector must be streamlined, and proper e-waste handling mechanism knowledge has to be passed to them.
it seems there is no more questions. We shall conclude the session.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my duty to deliver the vote of thanks to conclude this evening event. Before that, there is an important thing to do. Let me invite Engineer Prashanth Silva to present the token of appreciation to Mr. Manoj Karunanayak on behalf of the ESL. Thank you. First and foremost, on behalf of the Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka, let me thank Mr. Manoj Karnaratna for readily accepting our invitation and for being with us here today in spite of his busy schedule as our resource speaker in this event. Moreover, we are indeed thankful to you for the selection of one of the most appropriate and timely topics and given insight on e-waste management. And also, it is no doubt that we as engineers of Sri Lanka enlightened on this subject on how we can make our future plan for environment friendly e-waste management. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of the CPD committee, I would thank to the President ISN Engineer Javilal Meegoda and Executive Secretary and the Secretariat staff for making this event a success. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank the past presidents, council members, and every one of you for taking your time to be with us to participate in this event. Thank you very much and good night.